Hi guys, welcome back from long weekend. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Today we start the second half of the year. Over the weekend, I calculated and posted your midterm grades for Thomas More. All right, the grades they were good. Some people had some stuff incomplete that lowered their grades some, but I'll be getting with everybody that owes me something over the next few weeks. Guys, we're past the midway point now. Late stuff is going to start costing you more. This is a college class. I was lenient the first half because there was technical difficulties getting everybody signed up and everything. This is a college class. A due date is a due date. It'll cost you more if it's late from here on. So please try to get this stuff to me on time. All right. Today we start functions. Functions always usually leads off the second half of the semester. And all a function is something that the program calls to do something. Your program will call a function to do something. Let's just jump right in and look at some code. Looking from top bottom, IOStream namespace. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but this you haven't seen yet. Void display message, then a cout line. This is a function. Void a void function is just a function that does something. For the most part, with very few exceptions, but there are exceptions. With very few exceptions, that's just going to be a function you call that prints something out, a void function. We're going to get into functions that you send it two or three numbers, it'll do some math on, then return the answer. The functions can get as complicated as you want them to get. All right. A good programmer uses functions. They don't put everything inside of main. All right. Here's our main right here. All right. Well, let's go back and talk a little bit about void function. You see the void. Here's the message. All right. A void function always has a set of parentheses around them. Then things in the curly brackets is what the void function does. And you can see this one just sees out the message, hello from function display message. Here we've got the main. The more and more you all write mains, the smaller they're going to get. They're going to become more succinct and more um, straight to the problem, straight to whatever it is you're working on. When our big capstone project I've told you all is going to be the battleship game, I would expect int main to be very short, 6, 8, 10 lines long. All the work is going to be done in functions. That's how programmers work. Programming is modular, which means you work in smaller things. And you're going to find out this makes things better because inside these modules, if you get a module working, you can put it with any program that you're running. All right. You get a good function, and you'll reuse these a lot over different programming tasks. All right, let's get back to this one. This one is going to see out hello from main. That is going to be inside your main function. Okay, the main function, int main, all right, it's going to print out hello main. Then it's going to call display message. It's going to go up to display message and it's going to print out hello from function display message. Then after it's done, it releases control back to main again. And the main is going to print out back in main again. So the big thing is this line and this line are going to come from main, and this is a function call to display message. And to call this function, all we have to do is type in display message and the the empty parentheses. So let's do this. Hello from main, hello from the function display message, and back in main again. That was the 3 lines of code. And again, there it is. There's the cout from main, the function call display message, then we're back in main again. All right, that's video 1. All of these videos that we're going to look at today have a similar look to them, but each one progressively does a little bit more. All right, this looks a lot like the first one. Here's void display message, hello from display message. Again, I've got the same first line, hello from main. All right. Then I'm going to bring in a for loop. In this for loop, and I hope you all have come to understand that you write a for loop in when you know how many times you want to do something. What I want to do is 5 times I want to display message. I'm going to call the function display message 5 times. All right. So basically it's going to call this is going to for int count equals 0 while count's less than 5, count plus plus. It's going to call display message. It's going to go up here, hello from function display message. So boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to print that out 5 times. Then it's going to release back to the main, and we're going to print back in main again. All right. The first line and the last line were from main. These middle 5 was from the for loop calling display message 5 times. Just take a look at the code for a second. Intro to functions number 3 does something a little unique, but it's something you see a lot in programming. All right. I've got void first. I'm non-side first function. Here's a second function. We're just going to call it second. So void first, void second. You can have an unlimited number of functions. So you can see here, this is the same thing with, I'm going to see out, I am starting in main. Then I'm going to call the first function. I'm going to call the second function. Each one's going to run in turn. And then finally, second is going to release back to main again. And it's going to print out back in function again. So this first line here and this fourth line are lines that are going to be seed out from main. But in between, I'm going to call first function and second function. And just so so we're clear, the first function is going to see out I am now inside first function, and the second one is going to pre I'm now in second function. So there you go. All right. First and fourth line are from the main, and the second and third are from function calls to our 2 functions in the program. And our fourth one. All right, this function, this program does something a little bit different. I'm going to call, let's look over main first. Here's int main. Okay, I'm going to see out I'm in main. The same thing we did in the first three functions that I did, or 3 programs I've ran for you. And then I'm going to call deep. And then that's going to release back to the main. And we're just going to print out that I'm starting in main. I'm back in, that's supposed to be main again. Function main again. In between, we call the function deep. So let's go up and look at deep. Right, here's the function deep. See how I am inside a function deep, but deep is going to do something. It's going to call a function itself. So main is calling a function deep, but deep is calling a function deeper. So in this one, once this is called in main, in deep, it's going to see out I am now in function deep. Then it's going to call deeper. Then it's going to release back to now I'm back in deep. I couldn't think of anything better to call these guys. Sorry about this if this is hard to follow. This is the best I could come up with. Let's look at deeper. All right. Deeper doesn't call any functions. It's just going to see it. I'm now inside a function deeper. So let's talk about what we're going to expect here. This is this to start out with in main. It's going to see out I am starting in main. Then it's going to call in function deep. And then it's going to say out I am in function deep. But then it calls deeper. The third line should be I am in function deeper. Then it's going to release back to the first function deep. I probably should name these numbers. And then it's going to see out I am now back in deep again. Then it's going to release back to see out, back in function main again. So basically, we just go inside of a function that goes inside of a function. So let me run this. I'm starting in main. Now I'm going inside of function deep, which calls function deeper. I'm now inside of function deeper. It releases back to deep. Now I'm back in deep. Then it releases back to the main again. Now I'm back in main again. So this function, main calls deep, which calls deeper. You can embed these as deep as you can, as deep as you want to go without going mad. I mean, it gets kind of confusing after a while, so I would never expect you. Try not to go more than 2-3 deep, but sometimes functions do need to call on other functions. So, I mean, you may want to make a function that, just giving you an example, that squares something and then uses it inside of, I don't know, the radius of, the area of a circle. Okay, so I could call area of a function area of a circle that calls the square function, and that's actually not a bad example of something of a function that calls another function. So I want to stop here and let you look at the code just again real quick. Okay, again, notice how succinct and tight main is. All main is going to do is see out 2 lines and call deep. Then deep sees out 2 lines but calls deeper, and deeper calls out, see outs a line. All right, guys, make sure that you understand what we're talking about here with these functions and calls. A function call that's a void is just call it using the function name and the parentheses. Next time, we're going to get into more, I'm not going to say complex, but just a little bit, our functions are going to do something. They're not just going to print out something. They're going to calculate something for us. They're going to do work for us. All right, guys, I will see you all on Wednesday. Have a good production day. And please check your TMU grades. And if you haven't gotten all your TMU work to me, please be seeing me about it this week.